Greetings, fellow Earthlings. Today is January 22nd, 2024, and this is episode 4 of MindMosaic. So let's skip all the filler and get straight into it because today I'm going to give you the blueprint to learn anything in 3 steps. The word autodidact refers to a self-taught person. Names like Da Vinci, Lincoln, Lovecraft, Edison, Disney, Tarantino, just to name a few, these people did not pick up their now infamous knowledge and expertise from formal education. No, they were autodidacts. And by the end of this video, you will be too. So without further ado, I give you Griffin's 3-part self-education method. So let's begin. Part 1. Find your glimmers. So a glimmer is basically, I've heard it described as like the opposite of a trigger. It's essentially like a small micro spark of joy, like a moment or a situation or an idea that just gives you like a tiny burst of positive emotion. Your task is to explore the vast world of information and find those glimmers. Follow your curiosity. Remember, this isn't a academic pursuit. This is like a genuine pursuit of knowledge. Like, this should be fueled by a fascination and like a curiosity. You should want to do this. You need true intrinsic motivation in order to actually learn something. You can't force feed your brain information that it doesn't care about because it's not gonna stick. So your learning experience should be fueled by curiosity. You should be eagerly awaiting the next opportunity to study rather than dreading it like most people do in like college and stuff. Anyway, yeah, picture this step as like a treasure hunt. You're sifting through the vast array of different information in search of those little gems, those little treasures that spark joy and that fuel your pursuit to discover more. Part 2. Synthesize a new field. So as you discover your glimmers, you will most likely find that they fall under a variety of different academic fields. You might have glimmers in cosmology, history, the arts, political science, or maybe even outside of conventional disciplines entirely. And if you think that's a bad thing, let me ask you this. Did the Wright brothers create airplanes, the first airplanes, by studying aerospace engineering? No, they couldn't. It didn't exist. They repaired bicycles, and they just had this immense fascination with the idea of one day maybe being able to make a bicycle that could fly. So if you have a passion for kinesiology, it doesn't mean you have to become a physiotherapist. Remember, this isn't school where you're getting funneled into a specific line of work. This is your personal journey of exploration. This is for you. Let's say that your passion for kinesiology is rooted in the ability of cybernetics to provide mobility to people who have lost limbs. And you also have an immense passion for the arts and its ability to move people emotionally. Instead of settling and picking one or the other, try combining them into something new, into a new field. Cybernetics for mobility, art for movement, and boom, you just invented animated tattoos, customizable day-to-day self-expression, challenging the disability narrative. I don't know, this is just an example, but you get the idea. It's synthesis. Combining different subjects, finding the common threads, and synthesizing a new field of study that combines the different topics together. It's about exploring the relationships between seemingly unrelated things in order to create something new and interesting. Part 3. Craft a Urriculum. This is where it gets really fun. You're going to use the information curating abilities of ChatGPT to basically create a personalized curriculum that's tailored to your own unique interests. I call it a Urriculum. Obviously, before you begin, download the GPT app. If you don't have it, sign in with Gmail and you're good to go. So first, input this Glimmer Prompt in order to identify the key topics that you're going to focus on. It's in the description, and make whatever edits you need to make to tailor it to your own glimmers. Once you've done this, it should yield either a list or a small piece of writing that's totally jam-packed with potential areas of exploration that are specifically geared towards what sparks your curiosity. Either way, choose up to 5 of these areas of exploration and you can start to build. Copy and paste the Urriculum prompt from the description, again, making whatever edits you need to make in order to include your 5 selected areas of exploration from the Glimmer prompt. Input that into the chat, and now you should have a personalized curriculum that synthesizes your areas of interest into a cohesive quest-based structure with reputable resources for study. Copy and paste your new Urriculum into your notes and you're golden. Now, you could stop here and just research using the resources provided by ChatGPT, or you could take this one step further and create what I think is the single best personalized learning experience available to any person in this time. And that is by turning this chat that you've created into a virtual mentor to guide you along your knowledge quest. So if you want to do that, which I definitely recommend, it makes this 100 times more engaging and interactive and fun. Again, copy paste the virtual mentor prompt from the description, and where it says field name, just put the name of the chat that you've created. What ChatGPT does is when you create a new chat, it'll auto-generate a name for the chat based on the topics that you're discussing. And I find that when you do this, it will pretty consistently yield like the perfect name for this like hypothetical field that you've synthesized. Like for example, I was doing biology and computer science, and the name that it auto-generated was BioCS. So just take whatever yours is and edit that into the virtual mentor prompt where it says field name. So yeah, just paste that into the chat, and now you have a virtual mentor that will create lectures for each individual subtopic within a given quest, as well as areas of inquiry, next steps, and ways to apply the knowledge gained from each lecture. It will also track your progress and unlock each subsequent quest as you complete any given one. Like, that's insanely useful and super easy to do, so just do it. The prompts are in the description in order, so just copy paste them, follow the instructions that I've just laid out, and you'll be off on your odyssey of learning in no time. If you're in school, show your Urriculum to your classmates, or just send them this video so that they can get a jump on this. It's super important, and as far as I know, they aren't teaching this in school. If they were, we'd be on the moon. You'd be watching this from the moon. Okay, so that's the self-education method. You could stop now and just like go and start doing this, but because I want you to become a true autodidact, I'm gonna give you two important skills that I think will help you overcome some of the challenges you're probably gonna face along this process, as well as two bonus tips to help you really excel beyond the average learner. Important skill number 1, managing the microscope effect. If at any point you feel overwhelmed or like you might be experiencing information overload, take a step back, take a breath, and say this affirmation. I do not need to learn at all. I choose to learn because I enjoy it. I am only a student. I am always a work in progress. Infinite information equals infinite exploration. Things will always get more complex the more you analyze them, but an abundance of data is only a bad thing if you're trying to cram it all into your head. You aren't a supercomputer. You aren't supposed to know everything. You are just an explorer, learning more than you knew before you started. That's all. Once you realize this, the fact that there's an infinite well of unknown knowledge awaiting your exploration will become a tremendous source of wonder and fascination rather than a source of overwhelm and anxiety. The microscope effect is a blessing in disguise, believe me. Important skill number 2, understanding misinformation. The age of information is also the age of misinformation, and while most people tell you to avoid misinformation like the plague, I think that this approach both undermines our innate ability for discernment as well as the importance of being wrong. And you're probably thinking, what? No, being wrong isn't important, it's bad. No, misinformation isn't inherently good or bad, it's just incorrect. And being wrong isn't inherently good or bad, it's just believing something that is incorrect. The reason misinformation can be dangerous is because people become emotionally invested in their wrong opinions, which is a whole other thing, and we will explore that in the future. But the point is, misinformation is not good or bad. Being wrong is not good or bad. The way to deal with misinformation is by 1, putting your ego to the side and realizing that you might always be wrong. No matter how right you feel like you are, there's always a chance that you're wrong. This way, you don't get attached to your beliefs. and you avoid falling into the trap of misinformation. 2. Look for information that challenges your beliefs. Pay close attention and actively seek out ways in which you could be misinformed. And 3. Realize that being wrong isn't a bad thing. Mistruths are stepping stones on the way to the truth. As soon as you realize you're wrong, you're in the perfect position to become right. You are not your opinions, thoughts, or beliefs. You are the observer of those things. You run into trouble when you start to get attached and start believing that these insignificant, trivial matters make you who you are. They don't. And until you realize that, you will continue to suffer with every wrong answer. So just let go of the need to be right all the time, or ever. Being wrong is fine. Okay, that's 2 important skills covered. Now let's move on to bonus tip number 1. Learn about everything. Study your interests, but don't let them box you in. Branch out. Diversify. Develop skills and knowledge in as many areas as possible, no matter how unrelated to your goals and aspirations and interests they might seem at surface level. You don't have to be an expert in everything, but I think it's better to be a jack of all trades than a master of one. But even if you are a master of one, still branch out, diversify your mind. See things from many different angles. Don't get set on one specific vantage. Continue growing, stay in motion. I know school made you think that you're supposed to stick with one thing, but this is a completely outdated belief. Don't get filed down. Don't get small-minded. Don't get boxed in. Seek to continuously expand the horizons of your understanding in all directions. Bonus tip number 2. Make connections. Build your spider skills. Find the common threads. Connect diverse topics and build a vast web of understanding. You might be studying literature and have a revelation about mathematics. You may be learning to play the piano and gain insight into the quantum world. When you discover these intellectual bridges, traverse them. You will form new neural pathways and literally rewire your brain. Discover the undiscovered connections. Bridge the divide. Reconcile juxtapositions. Turn stars into constellations. Dots into patterns. And as you do, you will realize that the connections were there all along, waiting for you to illuminate them. Everything is connected to everything else, so start to notice how. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So as we reach the end of this month of learning about learning, just remember, the keys to unlocking the potential of your intellect are fully within your grasp. Like, you can become the next Da Vinci, you can become the next Einstein. Like, you just gotta do it. Each step you take towards educating yourself is a step towards self-empowerment and a step towards a better existence for all of us here on this planet. Embrace the thrill of discovery, because within the vast unknown, your perspective will deepen and your understanding will expand. And it's calling you. Within its currents, the promise of a richer, more profound existence beckons you forward. So just start. Do the thing. Just learn as much as you can. Knowledge really is power, and it doesn't matter if you're a kid in school or already retired. It never hurt anybody to open their eyes, open their minds to infinite possibilities. And that's a wrap on the first month of MindMosaic. I want to take a quick moment to just thank all of you for joining me on this journey. As you know, I'm just starting out, so it's thank you. Thank you. It means a lot. So stay tuned for next month. It's going to be a really good one. And yeah, just, study your interests. Just keep going. Learn as much as you can. Remember, like, mastery is a process. All of this is a process. Make mistakes. It's how we grow. It's super important. So yeah, with that, I'm going to wish you a fantastic human experience. And I will see you the next time our minds connect across this digital network. All right. Much love, Earth Angels. Peace. See ya.